Yo, what's going on? I hope you're having a good day today because we're about to show how to do a tree run in old school RuneScape. First of all, when it comes to the inventory, what you're going to need is you're going to need some coins, you're going to need a seed dibbler, you're going to need a rake, you're going to need secateurs. You're rarely going to use these, but always keep them in your inventory because you use them once in a while. You're going to need something called a bottomless compost bucket. If you're an Ironman, good luck at Hespori. If you're a main, you could just buy the bottomless compost bucket on the GE. You buy super compost and then you just use it on the bottomless compost bucket, and there you go. Now you got a bunch of charges to use, and then you got some empty buckets. Just drop those on the floor. So now what you're going to want to do, depending on your farming level, I would just get everything, and then if you can't do some of the tree runs that I'm doing, then you just won't use them. But you're going to need 6 of your best tree sapling, which if I go into farming, the actual tab, it's going to be these ones. So if you're level 15 farming, grab your 6 oak saplings. You're also going to want to grab 4 of your best hardwood sapling, which if I pull up the farming, it's going to be special. So if you have 35 farming, you can do teak trees. If you don't, then you're going to have to wait till you get to 35. Then you do teak trees until mahogany trees at 55 farming. Keeping it going, you're also going to want to have 6 of your fruit tree seed saplings, which same thing, I'll pull up the farming log and it's actually in fruit trees. So basically whatever your best one is, and when you get to 68 farming, you're going to only do palm tree saplings unless you're fucking insanely rich, because dragon fruit tree saplings are so much money, they're not worth the extra XP. They're just not. They're like 5 to 7 times more expensive, and they only give like a bit more XP. One thing that's also really helpful is on the side you got time tracking on RuneLight. And what it's going to do is it's going to show you all the different locations, whether they're done, whether they got how many hours left. So let's say you log on to RuneScape, first thing you want to do if you're doing a farming run is click this time tracking thing. It looks like a clock all the way on the right in RuneLight, and then you go to the tree patches and make sure they all say done. Some of them are going to die, some of them died, is what it is. But now, also what you're going to want in your inventory is Brimhaven teleports, Taverley teleports, and the teleport crystal that brings you to Lieta. How you get both of these is basically you go to Nightmare Zone and you buy scrolls of redirection, and then you use the scrolls of redirection on house teleports to make sure you have the Brimhaven teleport and the Taverley teleport. These you get from, I actually forget, can you buy them on the GE? I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can buy the enhanced for 2.4 mil and then sing it, but if you don't have access to Prifdinus, then you might not even be able to do this one yet anyway. And then you're going to want a house, and if you don't have a house, then you're going to go to World 330, because that is where you can use other people's houses, and this is where we're going to start our farming run. So the first thing you do is you go to Varrock, and here we go, you go a little bit north. Eventually you're going to memorize the locations, so you could just have your time tracker up, and then basically when you have your time tracker up, you'll see a location like, for example, Varrock, and you'll just remember where to go. You go a little bit north and a little bit east. So now what you do is you're going to check the health, and then you pay this dude to chop it down. You could chop it down yourself. I don't know why you do that unless you're an Iron Man, but now you pay 200 coins. Boom, use the magic sapling on the tree patch, then you use the bottomless compost bucket on the tree patch. Boom, that's it. And if you have an empty, if there's like a bunch of leaves here, that's where you use the rake to rake it and then drop the weeds on the floor. Once in a blue moon, that's where the secateurs also come in, is once in a long time. It's going to be like, oh, something super weird happens, and you just use the secateurs on your tree. It's really weird. It very, very rarely happens. Now, the next thing that you do is you go back to your house, teleport back to house, and this time we are going to the farming guild. So I'm going to show you all the different spots in the farming guild themselves. So basically, go to your jewelry box, go to the farming guild. Depending on your farming level, you might only be able to do a few that are in here. Oh, our magic tree is dead. That is so sad. But yeah, same thing. You go to the thing. Oh, that's where you need the spade to dig up the dead trees. And boom, use the magic sapling on the tree patch, use a bottomless compost bucket on the tree patch. Now, depending on your farming level, I actually forget what level you need to access this part of the farming guild, but I'm assuming if you're watching this guide, you definitely don't have access to the celestial seed and the redwood tree. But there is also a palm tree in here as well. But this is where you would buy a celestial sapling, a redwood sapling, and that would just become a part of your daily farm run. But I'm pretty sure you need like 85 farming to enter here. Moving right along, now what you're going to do, you are going to go to Falador. The fastest way to get to the tree patch in Falador is actually the Falador Park. It's right next to it. Go to Falador Park and boom, there's your next magic tree. Same thing, do the check health, pay the dude to chop it down, and so on. And once I hit Falador, I go to Brimhaven, use the scrolls of redirection on the Nightmare Zone thing, and then you just go north, and there's going to be a fruit tree patch right here. Same thing, but for the fruit trees, it's honestly the same thing. You just use the palm sapling or whatever your best fruit tree sapling is. Pay the homie, chop down my tree pretty please. Do the palm tree sapling, boom. Use the bottomless compost bucket, boom. And we move right along into the Taverley. When you get to Taverley, you're just going to go a little bit southeast and follow me right here. It's just like a tiny bit southeast, and there should be a tree patch right over here. Yep, there's your magic tree patch. After this one, if you have access to Prifddinas, teleport to Lieta, and there's going to be a fruit tree patch right here. Going to is Lumbridge, so basically it's the same thing. You're going to the portal nexus, go to Lumbridge, and then you're going to go throughout the castle, and you might see there's a dead tree patch right there, a little bit outside the castle walls. More time back to the portal nexus, and this time you're going to be going to Catherby. So go to the portal nexus, hit up the little Catherby location, boom, and then the tree patch is going to be actually like right next to the spot where you do the fishing that's in Catherby. Just a little bit down this trail, and it should be right over here. There is your fruit tree patch. Now what I do, if you actually are using someone else's house, or if you have, I think it's 95 construction, you might have like the tree that's actually in your house. I do not actually have it, so what I do is I teleport to the Grand Exchange and I just run a little bit northeast until I can get to the spirit tree. If you can build one in your house, that's sick, or if you're using 330, then you can just go to someone else's house and travel to the Gnome Stronghold using their house. And then what you're going to do is there's actually two tree patches. You get the fruit tree patch, which is right here, and then you have the next tree patch, which is actually going to be right where Neve is. The Slayer Master should be right over here. Yeah, there's going to be a magic tree or whatever your big tree patch is. Once you finish off doing everything with him, pay the dude, do the bottomless compost bucket on the homie, you go back to the magic tree and you're going to be traveling to Tree Gnome Village. Once you get to Tree Gnome Village, you're actually going to run right over here. You're going to squeeze through the loose railing, and then you're going to click follow on this little homie Elkoi. But when you click follow on him, he's going to guide you through the maze, and then there's a tree patch right here. Last but definitely not least is going to be the mahogany sapling or the teak sapling. These give a literal insane amount of XP, so all you're going to do is go to Fossil Island. Once you get to Fossil Island, you're just going to use the magic mushroom, click on option 4, and then you just run south, and there's going to be 3 tree patches. These give a literal absurd amount of XP. I mean, let me just show you how much XP you get for checking the health of a mahogany tree. It is absolutely broken. Wait for it. 15,720 per tree. And then it's the same thing. You just pay the squirrel. The characters are a little bit smaller and they're hard to see for these, so they're actually not people. You just like go up to the squirrel, you go up to the I guess they're all squirrels. Yeah, they're all squirrels. The very last location is if you have access to Varlamore. If you have access to Varlamore, you just go to the fairy ring AJP, and it's going to spawn you right next to your last hardwood patch. You just have to go a little bit east, a little bit south, and there should be a tree patch right over here. This is going to be your last tree patch. And just remember, if you ever feel lost, just always remember to click on the time tracker and see which ones you have left. Oh, and one last thing, you might notice I still have 2 saplings left in my inventory, just to make sure you're not confused. If you were looking at that, I just forgot. I don't know why I'm picking coconuts. I actually forgot to chop down the trees in the farming patch. If you want to see what it looks like to do the check the health of the redwood tree, it actually gives crazy XP, 22,000. And then when you pay Alexandria, it's actually pretty cool. You jump into like a little cutscene. Alexandria sets to work, and then you, same thing, when you unlock it, you just use the redwood sapling and then the bottomless compost bucket on the sapling itself. Anyway though, I hope this guide was helpful to anyone that was looking to do a tree run. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I'll catch you next time.